Hey folks, so this piece of work is Republican Representative from North Carolina, Virginia Fox, who put forth legislation that would prevent schools to be used as shelter for people who are in this country, according to her, illegally.
This legislation would prohibit the use of the facilities of a public elementary school, a public secondary school, or an institution of higher education to shelter or house aliens who have not been admitted into the United States.
I have Virginia's numbers here because I called her offices to ask her why she was so xenophobic, and they got mad at me and hung up. So my phone warriors, get a dial-in. But there is a shining light in this story, and that is Representative Joe Neguse. Hear how brilliantly Representative Neguse handled Virginia's situation.
Any bills on teacher pay?
No, because the federal government is not involved in that issue.
Not the role of the federal government to be involved in teacher pay. Okay, good to know. Have you had any markups on student safety in light of
We have
violence?
not had a markup.
No markups on that. Any markups on extending learning time for students that are struggling with learning loss following the pandemic?
No markup on that.
No markups on that. So any markups on school meals?
No, but there will be. We will be working on it.
I'm glad to hear that. I hope that can be scheduled soon because it's a pressing issue at my district and in Colorado. Is it the committee's position that the federal government has no role to play with respect to teacher pay and has every role to play with respect to telling school districts and schools what they can and cannot do with their facilities? And it sounds like the answer is yes. And if the answer is yes, you can say yes. That can be your position.
We do not have a role to play in teacher pay. That is not our role.
There was an amendment to abolish the Department of Education. Did you vote for that amendment?
I don't know, but I would, if the Lord put me in charge, I would get the federal government out of education in a heartbeat because it's not delineated.
This seems like an awfully odd way to do that, Ms. Fox. You did vote. My understanding is you voted for this amendment to terminate the Department of Education. That's consistent with what you just said. And if that's the case, I'm not sure why you keep bringing bills to this committee to give the Department of Education and the Secretary of Education more powers. It is an odd way to remove the federal government from education policy, but that's your prerogative as chair, and I'm not going to get in your way. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll yield back the balance of my time.
And did you hear how she said, if the Lord put me in charge, I would gut the educational system because it doesn't have the Bible taught in every single thing. Please continue to vote blue so we can have more representatives like Representative Joe Neguse and less of this.
Clap.